Hi guys, today we are going to discuss Science Paper 1, Science Checkpoint for Lower Secondary with the paper code 1113/01. It's April 2009. The duration for this paper is 45 minutes. Let's take a look at this paper. This is the question 1. And we'll scroll all over this question so you may take a screenshot if you like to and pause the video and use it for practice. This is question 1. This is the question 1. This is question 2. Let me zoom out. This is question 2. This is question 2b. Next is question 3a and 3b. Next is question 3c, 3a, 3b, and 3c. Here you take the screenshot. Next is question 4a and 4b. Now let's move to question 5a and b. Next is question 6a and 6b. 6a, and then this is 6b. Next is question 7a, and this is A part 1, part 2, part 3, and question B. Now let's move on to question 8a and 8b will be here, and 8c. Now let's move to question 9a and 9b. This is 9b. Now next is question 10a, and question A part 1 and A part 2. And this is next, this is the experiment. Now let's move to question B, part 1, 2, and 3. Page 11. Now let's move to question 11A, part 1, 2, and question 11B. And this is question number 12A, B, and C. That is the last question. Now let's scroll up to the beginning so we may do the discussion together. Well, let's solve this paper together. Question 1. The diagram shows the apparatus of this is flask A and flask B, water and empty. Flask A is kept at 40 degrees Celsius and flask B is kept at 5 degrees Celsius. The question is, after some time, water forms in flask B. Complete the sentences to explain why this happens using some of the following words: condenses, boils, diffuse, evaporates, freezes, melts. In flask A, water blank, water molecules blank from flask A to flask B. The water blank in flask B. So in flask A, water, you can say that the correct one will be evaporate, turns from liquid into water vapor. Then the water vapor goes through this pipe and reach flask B. So water molecules diffuse. They diffuse through this pipe, and after that the water, how does it form liquid? It will be condenses. The water is formed in flask B after that. Alright, that will be our answer. So this is our answer: evaporates, diffuse, and condenses. Now let's move to the next question. Question 2. The diagram shows a house that uses renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. solar panels, double glazed windows, insulated walls, methane gas store, and wind turbine. Name two label parts that use renewable or alternative sources of energy. You can see from the diagram here, the one that use renewable alternative source of energy will be wind turbine and solar panel. So we just type that in the answer slot. So our answer will be solar panel and wind turbine. Next, let's move on. Question B. Much of electricity we use is generated by burning coal, which is a fossil fuel. What is fossil fuel? Question B, part 2. Explain why it is important that we find alternative sources of energy rather than rely on coal. Well, fossil fuel is fuel formed by decomposition of remains of living organisms and under the pressure and heat in the earth crust. Next, question B, part 2. Why it is important that we find alternative sources of energy rather than rely on coal. Coal is a non-renewable energy source which will run out soon as it takes millions of years to form. Okay, do you have any question? Please feel free to write in the comment section in Susan Hira YouTube channel. We'll surely reply to you with another video. Or you have any other alternative answer to verify, you may write in the comment section. We will reply to you as soon as possible. Question 3. The diagram shows a section of a flower. A. Name part label A. What is A? You can see here A is the female part of a flower. The stigma. So A is a stigma. Next. What is meant by pollination? What is meant by pollination? And C. Tick the boxes that shows the features of insect-pollinated flowers. The battery anthers, sticky pollen, contain nectar, small petals, brightly colored flower. Well, what is meant by pollination? Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from an anther to a stigma. So from an anther here, pollen is transferred to the stigma here. That's what we call as pollination. Next number. To answer this question, let's take a look at the difference between insect-pollinated flowers and the other type of pollination. So this is the features of insect-pollinated flower and wind-pollinated flower. The petals for insect, of course, is large, brightly colored to attract insects, while the wind is small and often dull. Scents and nectar. Usually insect-pollinated has usually scented and with nectar to attract insects, while wind-pollinated no scent or nectar. Number of pollen grain is moderate. Insects transfer pollen grains efficiently, while for wind-pollinated a large amount is produced. For most pollen grains are not transferred to another flower, just flew by the wind. The pollen grain, sticky or spiky, sticks to insects well, while for wind-pollinated it should be small and light, so easily carried by the wind. Anther inside flower, stiff and firmly attached to brush against insects. Wind outside the flower, the anther, loose on long filament to release pollen grains easily. The stigma for insect-pollinated flower is inside the flower, sticky. Pollen grains stick to it when an insect brushes past. Outside flower, feathery from a network to catch drifting pollen grain. So the answer for this part will be sticky pollen, contain nectar, and brightly colored flowers. Not small petal because it's for wind pollinated flowers, and not feathery anthers. Let's move on to the next one. We see in question 4, use lines to join up the boxes which contain words element, compound, and mixture to a box containing an example of each. Well, compound in here will be water. As we know, water is H2O, is the chemically bonded compound between hydrogen and oxygen atoms. So this is compound for water. It's HONH. This is the compound. While steel is an alloy, so it is a mixture of iron with another element. So steel will be a mixture. And the last is gold. Gold is an element because gold is pure as gold, so it does not combine or bond with other elements. So gold is an element, pure element. Question B. From the list of chemical symbols, select the correct one for each of the elements shown. C. As we know, C is for carbon. Now if you see Ca, it has C and it has A. The A stands for Ca. Here is Ca. Just see the same? Ca and Ca, so we will not make mistake. It will be calcium. It will calcium. Now chlorine, we have to see the chlorine, the C and the L. The C and the L. So it will be this one, Cl. Or Co is for cobalt. So now we see that Cl we see from the C and L, so this is chlorine. Calcium is C and A, that is calcium. Carbon is only C, and CO is for cobalt, and Cr is for chromium. Cr is for chromium. So we have to remember this. So this is Cr, this is C and the R. CO is the C and the O. That is the trick to remember this. Calcium is C and A, chlorine is C and L, carbon is only C. That's it. Now let's move on to the next one. Question 5. Use one use of copper is electrical wiring. Place a tick next to a statement which is not a property of copper. It is good conductor of electricity. It is yes. We have to answer the not a property. Has high melting point? Yes. Can be bent into a fixed shape? Yes. Poor conductor of heat? Yes. This is not. This is a good conductor of heat. We have to take this one. Now let's move on. Question B. When a compound has the formula MgSO4, name the elements contained in it. So Mg is for magnesium, S is for sulfur, O is for oxygen. You just write it down. So that's all the answer. Magnesium, sulfur, then oxygen. Question 6. The diagram shows a tuning fork which emits a single tone when it is sounded. The tuning fork was sounded by banging the prongs and then putting the bass on a tabletop as shown. Tuning fork marked at 512 Hz. This is the table. Question 8. What does the tuning fork do to produce a sound wave in the air near the fork? While the tuning fork is banged, so there will be vibration. The tuning fork will be vibrating like this. So that is the things that produce a sound wave. So the answer for this is it vibrates. Question B. Complete the following sentences by using words from the list. Amplitude, frequency, loudness, pitch. The fork has a something of 512 Hz and the tone produced has a blank of C. When the fork is hit harder, this increases the blank of the wave produced and increases the blank of the sound. So the fork has a frequency, this is the unit for frequency, Hertz, and the tone produced has a pitch of C. When the fork is hit harder, this increases the amplitude. It will increase the amplitude and of the wave and increases the loudness of the sound. Let's type the answer. So that will be this question, the answer: frequency, pitch, amplitude, and volume. Question 7. The diagram shows part of an African food web. This is cheetah, lion, zebra, gazelle, and grass. What do the arrows on the food web show? The arrows show the transfer of energy, or the arrow shows the flow of energy. Next question. Which of the organisms in this web compete for grass? Part 3. Which of the organisms in this web are predators? Hyenas are scavengers. They eat the parts of dead zebra and gazelle which other animals have not eaten. Use this information to add hyenas into the food web above. So let's do this question. So which organism in this food web compete for grass is zebra and gazelle. And zebra and gazelle, they both eat grass. So it will be zebra and gazelle. Like which of the organisms in this web are predators? Predators in here is an animal that eat another animal, that is lion and cheetah. They eat zebra and gazelle. Lion and cheetah. Next, hyenas are scavengers. They eat parts of dead zebra and gazelle which other animal have not eaten. So use this information to add hyenas into the food web above. So we just have to add this. They eat zebra and gazelle, so we just put hyena in here. It will be something like this. Go here and go here. That's it. Now question 8. The following materials were used to determine the order of reactivity of copper, magnesium, and zinc. The material supplied is copper, which is pink brown powder, magnesium, which is gray ribbon, zinc, which is gray powder, copper sulfate solution, which has blue color, magnesium sulfate solution, which is colorless, zinc sulfate solution, which is colorless. Now, each metal was added to each solution. 3 of the results are shown in the table. Mixture zinc and copper sulfate. Result is pink brown solid form colorless solution. Let's check it out. Zinc and copper sulfate solution. Originally, zinc has gray powder and copper sulfate has blue. Now, after the mixture, the pink brown solid form. So there is a reaction. This indicates that we can observe the change in the solid form, and the blue color from copper sulfate change into colorless solution. So there is a reaction. It means zinc is more reactive than copper. Zinc displaces copper. So we write zinc is more reactive than copper. Second one, copper and magnesium sulfate. Copper and magnesium sulfate is copper here, and magnesium sulfate solution is here. The result of the mixture is pink brown solid remains and colorless solution. So copper is pink brown powder. So this remains means there is no reaction. While magnesium sulfate is also colorless, so there is no reaction in this mixture. It means copper is less reactive than magnesium. So magnesium will be more reactive than copper. Less reactive. Next, between magnesium and zinc sulfate, magnesium zinc sulfate, You see the magnesium and zinc sulfate. Gray powder form in colorless solution. Zinc sulfate solution was colorless. Then magnesium is gray ribbon. So from gray ribbon it disappears into gray powder. So there is a chemical reaction. It means magnesium is more reactive than zinc. Magnesium is more reactive than zinc. So our conclusion is here. Magnesium is more reactive than zinc and zinc is more reactive than copper. And of course magnesium is more reactive than copper. So we just conclude this one. OB Mg is more reactive than zinc and is more reactive than copper. Now that will be for the answer of A. Put copper, magnesium, and zinc in order of reactivity from most reactive to the least reactive. We just type this down. Magnesium, zinc, and copper. So we'll write down our answer: magnesium, zinc, and copper. Next question. What type of chemical reaction is taking place in these experiments? Next question. The relative reactivity of metals can also be determined by putting the metals in dilute acid. Which metals or metals listed above will not react with dilute hydrochloric acid? Well, we can remember the list of reactivity. It will be good. This is all the list of reactivity of all the metals. You can see this is the position of zinc is just below there, and this position of magnesium is above, and copper is the bottom part. So if we see this one, magnesium, zinc, and copper. By remembering this reactivity series also will help us to answer the question. Now the metal that will not react with acid will be copper because it is the lowest position. So the lowest position there will be very unreactive and the high position will be very reactive. This is the list of reactivity. We have to remember PSALCMAZITLCMS. This is how we remember the reactivity list of metal. So potassium is P, is for please stop calling me a cute zebra. So P is for potassium, stop is for sodium, and calling for calcium. Me is for magnesium, and A is for aluminium, and this C is for carbon in here. The C, Q is for carbon, and then zebra is for the zinc. So please stop calling me a cute zebra is the way to help us remember the metal reactivity. This is for potassium. Stop is for sodium. Calling me is for calcium. Me is for magnesium. And A is for aluminium. C is for carbon. And zinc is for zebra. Alright, C is for zebra. So the typical reaction take place is displacement, and question C, metal that will not react with dilute hydrochloric acid will be the copper. Next, question 9. The diagram shows a magnet being brought close to a piece of steel. The piece of steel is repelled by a magnet. Is this piece of steel a magnet? Explain your answer. Well, steel contain iron. Iron is attracted to magnets, so if the iron is uh, normally it will be attracted to the magnet, but while the steel is repelled by the magnet, means the steel itself is a magnet with the south pole near to the south pole of this bar magnet. That's why there will be a repulsion between the south and the south. That is the reason it is repelled by the magnet. And this will be the north pole of the steel. So let's type the answer. Oh yes, this piece of steel is a magnet with its south pole next to the south pole of the bar magnet. Otherwise, it will be attracted to the bar magnet if it's not a magnet. Next question. The diagram shows the magnetic field pattern around a magnet. This is coming out of the north, coming out of the north, coming out of the north. Look at the arrow, and then it's enter into the south. Complete the diagram by drawing magnetic field pattern between two magnets. So it will be from north heading to south, and it will be things like this, and more here like this, and more here like this, and oh, here. So from north it goes to south, and from north it goes to south, and a bit more things like this. From north it head to south, and it coming out from the north, go like this, and coming into the south. Alright, will be our answer for that. Next number. That will be our answer. Next number. A student is investigating one of 7 characteristics of living organisms. She uses a drinking straw to bubble some of her breath through lime water. The lime water turns from clear to cloudy, meaning the gas in the student's breath, which causes the lime water to change. But this is a carbon dioxide. Name the process which produces this gas in living cells. It is from the respiration. So the answer is carbon dioxide and respiration. As we know, the respiration process is from glucose and oxygen that produce water, carbon dioxide, and also energy. So this is the process of respiration. They produce carbon dioxide. Now let's move on to question. The student decides to investigate the same process in some other living things. She uses maggots and germinating seeds. The students put the same amount of clear lime water in the 3 test tube A, B, and C. She puts 20 crawling maggots in tube A, and she does not put any living things in tube B. And she puts 20 germinating seeds in tube C. There's wire mesh support in each. She seals the 3 tubes using rubber bands. The tubes are left in the lab until the end of the day. This is the lime water. So how does the lime water in tube A differ from lime water in tube C? Suggest a reason for this difference. So we can see the lime water here is more cloudy in A compared to the lime water in C. More cloudy. The reason could be the crawling maggots produce more amount of carbon dioxide that turn the water more cloudy compared to germinating seeds, which produce less carbon dioxide in respiration. So this is our answer. The lime water in tube A is more cloudy than in tube C. The amount of carbon dioxide released by maggots is higher than the amount of carbon dioxide released by germinating seeds. What is the purpose of tube B? Question part 3. Describe one thing which student did to make this a fair test. Well, tube B is a control test tube. You can see tube B the student does not put anything in tube B, so it's an act of control. If there's no carbon dioxide, that will remain this state. Question part 3, describe one thing which the student did to make this a fair test. You can see that students put the same amount of clear lime water here. That will be how to make fair test, and other answers, possible answers, she put the same amount of megas, 20 megas and 20 Cs to compare. So your answer just can be one of that. If you doubt with your answer, you may write in the comment section. We'll surely reply to you. If you watch this video through Susan Hira YouTube channel, so the students put the same amount of clear lime water in 3 test tubes. Next question. Question 11. The chemical name for marble is calcium carbonate. Equal masses of marble, marble chips, and powdered marble are added to equal volumes of dilute hydrochloric acid as shown in the diagram below. Marble, marble chips, and powdered marble. Which of them reacts the fastest? Will be the one that powdered. So give a reason for your answer. So because the powdered marble has greater surface area that will get into contact with the hydrochloric acid. Let's type it down. So powdered marble, since powdered marble has greater surface area compared to others. Next question. Complete the word equation for the reaction of dilute hydrochloric acid and calcium carbonate. So for this we have to remember the reaction between acid and carbonate. Acid and carbonate will produce salt, carbon dioxide, and water. So this is the main important reaction for acid. Acid with carbonate compound will produce. This is the salt. This is the carbon dioxide. And this is the water. This is the main reaction for acid that we have to remember. Question 12. The student investigates the density of different metals. The pieces of metal are all at the same size. To find out the density he needs to measure the mass and the volume. What equipment could he use to measure this? Of course, mass will be electronic balance and volume will be measuring cylinder. Let's type that down. So this is our answer. Electronic balance and measuring cylinder. Next, he places one of the metal in a very hot oven for a few hours. When the metal is very hot, he carefully measures volume and mass again. What has happened to his reading? Tick one box in each row. The mass. Mass of an object will stay the same no matter what the treatment is. Well, but the volume of this metal, it will expand, increase as the metal will go on for thermal expansion. Thermal expansion is the expansion occurs in metals when they are heated to a very hot temperature. As the metal is heated up, the particles inside it change their behavior. What happens to the particles as they get hotter? So this is to explain why the volume increase. Well, the particles gain energy and start to vibrate faster, which has the effect of expanding the solid. So the particle of metal, instead of like this, now as they get hotter, they will start to vibrate more. So it needs more space. So there will be expansion. This is they vibrate very less. This is high temperature. So it needs space to vibrate. High temperature. This is low temperature. Well, that's all the discussion for today. We'll scroll up from number 1, so we may take a screenshot of all the answers. So guys, this is the answer for question number 1. You take a screenshot. Okay, now this is the answer for question number 2. This is the answer for question number 2b, part 1 and 2. This is the answer for question number 3, A, B, and C. This is the answer for question number 4, A and B. And this is the answer for question number 5, A and B. And this is the answer for question number 6A and 6B. This is the answer for question 6A and B here. And this is the answer for question 7C, 7A, 7B. So this is for 7B, the diagram for 7B. So this is the answer for 7B. This is the whole question of 7. This is the answer for question number 8, A, B, and C. And this is the answer for question number 9, A, 9B. And next will be the answer for question number 10A. And this is 10B and 10B part 1, 2, and 3. Next will be the answer for question 11A, B. So this one we don't need this. This is just an explanation. The answer for that. Next will be the answer for question number 12A and 12B. 12A and 12B. That's it for today. Well, if you have any request, comment, question, idea, you may take time to write in the comment section. If you open this through Zoom YouTube channel, which will reply to you. Today we have discussed Science Checkpoint Past Paper April 2009, Paper 1 for Lower Secondary. Please check links in the description for our news and latest and most update past paper, as well as other interesting topics we cover for all the subject for Checkpoint. Please subscribe to this channel so you'll be the first to be notified when we release our new update, and ring the bell so you don't miss the information, and like and share to anybody who might need it. Today's discussion is conducted by Respiration online. We cater for all these subjects and all these programs, and write email to us if we have unsolved past paper. We'll see what we can do for you. And don't forget to click the right at the right bottom corner of this video. Under this video you may see this triangle sign. You just click it and it pops out the description section that listed all the useful links for the latest checkpoints. Bye bye and God bless you.